Big game happening this Sunday. It is important to support your team. It's also important to support teens with the right information. Joining us now is Aisha Smith, the State Executive Director of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, along with Heather Coland, the Underage Drinking Prevention Coordinator. So, ladies, obviously, this is a big weekend. A lot of people are going to be having a lot of celebrations, either at home, they may be going to a friend's house, going out to a sports bar. What's the most important thing to remember for people as they are celebrating big game this weekend?
The message we want to get across is to make your plans before you head out.
Okay.
And make not one, not two, but we're asking people to make 3 plans before they start drinking.
Okay, so what are those 3 plans?
Number 1 is, if you know that you're going to be drinking, don't even drive your car. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to be making decisions and you're impaired. So there's Uber, there's Lyft, there's Lux. Some people have parties and they plan for people to spend the night. And then also, not drinking is also an option to be safe.
So just know before you go exactly what you're going to be doing.
And have several options.
Have several options.
1 and 2, first plan, second plan may not work. Yes.
So now, as we said, we're talking about wanting to implement some good ideas to our kids. Heather, let's talk about this in terms of underage drinking. This happens a lot, and my first thought is, well, they can't go to the sports bars, they can't buy, alcohol, but you're talking about adults that are enabling the behavior. Is that right? Is that a pretty big problem?
It can be. What we're encouraging parents to do, first off, and it sounds easy, but it can be hard, is to talk to their kids specifically about alcohol use, drug use, and the dangers that it presents at an early age before the brain is developed. But on top of that, we want to encourage them to demonstrate safe behaviors around alcohol, drinking responsibly, putting friends up who've had a little bit too much for the night so that they don't put themselves or others in danger.
Yeah. So, obviously this sometimes easier said than done. Yes, let's have this conversation. What are some tools that parents can use for their adolescents to start the conversation? Look, the game is coming up, there may be this. How do we get that conversation going?
Well, it's important to be very clear and to be very honest with your kids, because kids are kids, they know what's up. So being as honest as possible is very important. But on MAD's side of things, we offer a program called Power of Parents.
Okay.
And it comes with a little booklet, and it's a little short presentation class that focuses on how to have that conversation with your
Power
kids.
of Parents. And is this something, if we go onto Matt's website, we can find information on?
Yes.
Okay. Well, so obviously, the teen aspect and the underage aspect, huge. But overall, New Mexico, no big secret that we have issues with DUI here in the state.
Yes.
So how important is it for us to develop this plan? How important is it for us as adults to have this conversation? Because it's one thing to we're talking to our children, our sons, our daughters. It's another thing when we get into our peers.
Yes.
You're having this conversation, someone has had one too many, and you want to be the responsible person, say, you know what, we can't let you do it. How does that conversation go?
I think that it's uncomfortable. I've talked to people that I know that have found themselves in situations with someone who they believe is too impaired to drive, and they have told me they felt awkward and uncomfortable having that decision.
Because it could set you up for some confrontation.
Yes. And when you're talking to someone who's already past the point that their judgment is impaired, certain behaviors become inflamed when people have had too much to drink. But we have to realize that it is going to be easier to have an awkward, uncomfortable conversation and keep someone safe than it is to attend your friend's funeral, or to then have them create a crash that has killed 4 people, which happens. We've had horrible crashes over the past year. One statistic that people need to realize about the upcoming weekend and the big game is that 43% of traffic fatalities are alcohol related.
Really?
And so our risks driving around during this upcoming weekend are doubled, that we will be in some kind of crash or possibly even fatality.
Wow. And I imagine, obviously, this weekend, law enforcement going to be out in force, catching people that have not been responsible, that are driving under the influence. Now, if someone wants to get on your side of the table, they want to help, they want to volunteer, they want to be part of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, how do they do that?
They can go to our website at madd.org, and you can email us, you can call us, you can stop by the office, and we are always looking for help. It's definitely needed in New Mexico.
Okay. Well, bring some levity to this before we get out, ladies. I got to ask, you think the Broncos, you think the Panthers? Who are you going for? Who do you think is going to take it? As you saw, Grizzly Bear, the Grizzly Bear thinks that it's going to be the Broncos. There's a groundhog out in North Carolina that thinks it's going to be the Broncos. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go with the animals. Yes. Yes.
With the animals?
Yes, I'll say the
Okay, so you think the Broncos
Broncos,
they're gonna take it? How
Yes.
about you, Heather?
I'm hoping the Broncos.
You're hoping the
Yeah.
Broncos. Okay. So obviously this is Bronco Nation. Yeah, I think we have one Panther fan in the building, to be honest. All right, guys, for more information on how to stay safe this weekend, head over to casa.com. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Absolutely. Still to come.